Opinion or fact? There have been many surveys in the last 10, 15 years how Americans have changed from making up their minds based on facts and logic, and instead many Americans base their decisions on opinions and emotions. I had a discussion with a colleague a week or so ago, and he told me that he had watched this movie, this documentary, and it made him cry, and that's how strongly he feels about this. And we did some initial research, some of my students and I, on this topic, and realized that there is a great amount of information in this documentary that's completely false. And the producers were just trying to get people emotional to help them decide about something. And my colleague didn't see that. So this is a great danger. And we need to have our children know right when they're ready to analyze things, which is about the age of 12, what's an opinion and what's a fact. And that when you make an argument, it needs to be based on facts. And opinions are fine, but you need to back those up with evidence as well. Making historical judgment. We make historical judgments all the time, and who was the greatest president in the last 50 years? Which economic policies have been strengthening America? Which have been weakening America? These are historical judgments. And so it's great to have young people practice these on things in history, things that have taken place 200 years ago. You and I are probably very similar. We're very passionate about the current events that are going on now. And sometimes it's hard to step away from that and make a good reasoned judgment. And so in the classroom, in the history that we're studying, right, ancient civilizations, medieval, it's easier because we're more removed from it. What kind of evidence can you use in making an argument? Analyzing primary sources and secondary sources, using quotes to strengthen your argument. How to paraphrase. How to prioritize by importance. Of course, the Socratic Discussion, my favorite tool of the historian. Understanding cause and effect. Compare and contrast. Change over time. And then the writing process. So each of these tools of the historian, what I did was I took the different historical time periods, ancient, medieval, American up to the Civil War, and then modern American, modern world, and American government economics. So I'd like to show you one of the tools of the historian. Fact in history is a statement that is accepted as true. A fact often refers to a date, a person, or a document. For example, the Declaration of Independence was written and signed in 1776. We know this happened because we have the original document, the men who wrote and signed this document wrote about it, and observers wrote about it as well. There is no doubt in anybody's mind whether the facts in this statement are true. Opinion. An opinion is an expression of somebody's ideas and is debatable. Opinions that are based on facts and good reasoning are stronger than opinions not based on facts. In history, opinions alone tend to be less persuasive than when a person supports his opinions with facts. So each of our tools of the historian is structured similarly like this. They're presented with something that historians use. They're presented with the definition, and then they have a small activity to do so they can practice this idea. So opinion or fact. Life for early man was more peaceful than our life today. Opinion. Teachers who are nice don't assign homework. Opinion. Good job, young lady. She knows. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Almost everybody's favorite food is pizza. Mesopotamia means the land between two rivers. Fact. The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. So once they are familiar with this, then they are given an argument with a sample of two different students responding to a question, and they have to make a decision which argument is stronger. So the question is, in our Ancient Civilizations book, made for ages 12 to 14, did the ancient civilization of Mesopotamia contribute much to world civilizations? Student 1. The ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia contributed much to the world. These societies rocked. When there was a really big war, the Sumerians and Assyrians knew how to fight hard. These societies would use a lot of arrows in their battles, and the enemy wouldn't know how to respond. Most of the time, the enemy would just die or quit. Also, have you seen pictures of the great Babylonian kings? They dressed magnificently. And Mesopotamia was the land between two rivers, so therefore this area had to have a lot of water. All in all, the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia contributed much to the world. And now the student reads Student 2. The ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia contributed much to the world. The Sumerians created the first written language. We call this Cuneiform. Sumerians also were the first people to use the wheel for transportation. The Babylonian king Hammurabi established one of the first written law codes known as Hammurabi's Code. These laws helped the weak against the strong, protected women's property rights, and regulated doctors' fees. Also, the Hittites discovered how to use iron, which at that time was the strongest metal in the world. Phoenicians gave us the world's first alphabet with 22 symbols. And the Hebrews were the first people ever to worship only one God, and therefore brought monotheism to all. Yes, the ancient civilizations of Mesopotamia contributed much to the world. So, which student is more persuasive? Student 1 or Student 2? Student 2 is more persuasive. And couple of the questions that are here in this booklet is copy one sentence that is an opinion, copy one sentence that is a fact, and then it asks the students to respond to these two arguments. Which one is more persuasive and why? So at the beginning of the year, all the students understand that to create a strong argument in history, you need to have evidence. And in order to have evidence, they will find out they have to read. So this is something great to refer to the kids. If it's April or May, you can refer them back to this to remind them that they need to have evidence to have a good argument. Okay, open-ended questions. There are question types that historians use that are similar. They just change depending upon the content you're learning. And these are the main question types.